What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome back to DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. Archer on site, Le'Veon is out of town, drinking with some buddies to mourn the loss of a dear friend. So Le'Veon, saw it goes out to you, brother. I am here with the badasses in Cutthroat Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Introduce yourselves and what you guys do in the band, please.
I'm Jameson, I play the triangle.
Oh my god.
I'm Kevin. I play bass and I'm also known as the Saint.
Okay, if we're going that route. I'm Cameron Cyrus on stage because try to differentiate, but whatever. And I do vocals and other awkward things.
Very
Vocalist cheers.
Word.
So, get out your pens and get out your papers because it is time for a history lesson with the badasses here. So, why don't we get the rundown of Cutthroat Conspiracy? Is this a case of hold my beer, I can do this shit too, or?
Quest on Craigslist, more or less. I think we just hit a little over a year, right?
in May.
In May, and that's as long as we've been doing stuff. Found Jameson on Craigslist.
May's a badass month.
Found Jameson on Craigslist and a drummer, and slowly formed from there, getting pieces off of social media. I hadn't been in a band in quite a while and decided to revamp it, try and get an idea going.
So where did the name come from? Because it rolls off the tongue really well. Like it's a nice name to say. Cutthroat Conspiracy.
A lot of sitting around and pitching out dumbass ideas. I think
Yeah.
the best idea we had before this one was it barbecue Bob and the spare ribs was what everyone recommended.
I love that idea.
Oh my god,
Still love that idea.
I
Sounds like,
wasn't there for that one.
that sounds like a really good Southern rock name. Okay.
I don't know, we sat around for 2 or 3 hours, we even farted around with a name generator, and it just kind of came to us after laughing our asses off over dumb stuff like barbecue Bob.
Oh my god.
And we started to take different meanings and symbolisms from it, and you start to break down the name, and you're like, well, kind of life has its own way of being a conspiracy theory of everybody just trying to cut each other out to get on top, and it's it all kind of came together once you thought about it. And like, dude, that's actually a really cool name. It's got some meaning behind it. It's got some kind of feelings, and I'm like, dude, let's go with that. So it's just something that kind of stuck.
Yeah, because it's definitely a name that you can look at and be like, there has to be a deeper meaning to it or something. Because you got names like my band, it's just a character concept.
Mm-hmm.
Or you got Silver Tongue Devil, which is is it a character concept? Is it the art of human lying? Watch that episode to actually find out. I'm just throwing this out there for filler. That episode is a thing, and we do talk to those guys. I remember the first time I saw you guys, I can't even remember the month, dude. Last year, 2016, was a show, and Chemicals was on the bill, and that's all I noticed. Yeah, it was at Curtain Club, and I remember seeing Chemicals, and I'm like, oh shit, Chemicals on a Saturday, I'm going. I believe it was a Friday. It was a Friday. Yeah, I'm going, so perfect. And I hit going on the event so I can keep up with it. I just get a random ass message from you, and you're like, hey man, are you planning on going to the show? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna support my boys in Chemicals. It's gonna be a fun night. He's like, hey man, I got tickets. What? Tickets to a local to a local show? I'm like, that's weird. And he's like, but do you want one? I'm like, yeah man, I guess I'll take one. How much is it?
It was 10.
Yeah, so just randomly met up with them, and fucking, just the rest is history. I think that was the only time I saw you so far too.
Yeah, I think that's the only time you've seen us perform. I think you'd actually told me no, and that you thought you weren't going to show up, and I sold you one out in the front of it, and you just handed me a wad of ones, and I let you go through, and I counted it later, and you shorted me $3.
I did? Fuck!
That's why I remembered you so much after that show. I was like, that's the fucker that shortchanged me at Curtain Club.
Oh shit. Dude, I'm so sorry.
It's alright, I didn't give a shit. I was just glad somebody was buying tickets out front.
I had $3 to pay for the spider. They will see it. But no, that blew me away. So like, cause I know in the scene we have like pre-sales and shit, you know. But I mainly see it for like
Very challenging.
like more like opening up for like national acts and shit. Like, how often is the pre-sales for local shows?
Every single show. I have yet to. I mean, some of the Tomcats ones, it's a 10-head quota, and they won't, waste the cash on pre-printing some stuff. But almost every show we've played in the last year has had paper ticket pre-sales.
That's hard for most
And
bands to do.
only 2 of them were nationals.
Yeah.
Jesus. So because like a lot of bands feel negatively towards most pre-sales because it's for most bands the quota term is pay to play.
Yeah.
So you see bands do them, but you see them do them very like few and far in between, so that they don't feel like they're like dumping money out of the band fund just to play a show.
Yeah.
So doing it so often, does that ever run across your guys' mind like, holy shit, can we like just do like a show where we don't have to do this?
What was it? 3 weeks ago, we were having a discussion about taking a break to do our album and stuff, and we had a couple of shows we needed to fill, and we were just looking at it like, holy shit, we overbooked. We had 5 shows in 4 months. They were all pre-sale. I think one of them was upwards of 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reviver Die was 50, and we were just figuring out how the hell we're gonna do this, and that's, I'm essentially a drug dealer of tickets. I harass people on social media all the time, and but essentially, how you and I got in contact was me doing exactly that. But it gets to be a real pain in the butt, but if that's what you gotta do to get your music heard and get into some of these venues, I don't see another way around it. I mean,
The only speed bump we hit was actually burning out the fan rather than us burning out.
Yeah.
It's like we met the quota pretty much every show. I mean, we may have like 1 or 2 ticket slippage where we had to cover it, but other than that, we actually sold our requirement.
Yeah.
It was just getting the fans to do it every single month, and then 1 month, which was twice in 1 month, and it was you burn them out. They're like, man, I saw you last month. Man, I saw you like 2 weeks ago. Like, it's just a lot to put on the fans, especially the ones that are local, because it's. If you see them every single month, like we've been playing pretty much every single month, you kind of like, I don't know, desensitize them.
Yeah, and that was definitely like one issue that a lot of bands talk about. It's a reason why my band has decided to actually drop out of a show that we were gonna do together at the end of June, because we had gotten that one and it wasn't a big deal to us, but then we were hit with Deicide, and holy shit, 3rd show ever opening up for Deicide, like it's magic, I can belt out the 30 ticket minimum because,
that name sells.
Yeah, and not only that, but people have seen us, like, people have either went to our first or our second show and have, when we were selling the demos, they fucking spread around. People were fucking handing them off to their buddies and shit. And, I was getting a lot of people messaging us like the following weeks after our debut show. And so I knew I had the opportunity to ride that momentum in selling it. But then the band got together, we all got together, and we were like, okay, so like what are all of our shows? And I mentioned that the June 25th show, and they're like, oh shit, that was pre-sale, wasn't it? And I was like, yeah. And, we had sat down on that because we're like, I don't know if we should do it because we just got done with one.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to sell the same people tickets. And after like much talking about it, I got outvoted. So I had to message the event organizers and be like, hey, I'm sorry, but, we've come to a decision that it probably would not be in our best interest.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I feel bad if I ever had to dip a show.
Yeah.
I really do. But I tried to make that conversation as professional as possible. And it was over a month in advance.
Yeah.
So.
No, it wasn't that big of an issue, but I mean, on a side note, to anybody that's ever bought tickets to a pre-sale show from some random stranger that wanted to meet up with you on Facebook and drop off, thank you for being ballsy. We're We're not all creepy as shit.
Yeah. But I don't know, because when I hear you guys say that, like all the show, like most shows you've done this year were like that, it blows me away, because all the shows that I've been offered outside that one and the DSI one, like our debut, the Nothing But Metal showcase, the birthday bash coming up next month at Reno's, and the return of Giant of the Mountain at the end of July, I don't have to sell any of them.
Huh.
So, I mean, you know, shout out to Joseph Cabrera. Sorry. DMS, I mean, yeah, man, like that's the person you want to talk to if you want to get shows like that at Reno's or like Whitson, Printing Club, because he won't make you resell shit like that.
Well, Chris Ballone, I don't know if you follow any of his live
Chris.
the guy that's doing I guess it's in-house. No, he's not in-house. Whatever. Stand for Something Productions that has that contract. They just got rid of pre-sales altogether.
Oh,
They're doing outright 70-30 split. House is only taking 30%. The bands are getting 70. 0 pre-sales.
Man.
But I guess they're trying to incentivize people to get off. I guess the pre-sale thing, I have a problem with it and I don't. I can see where it's an insurance policy for the venue to make sure, hey, because no knock, but a lot of bands out there don't promote their damn shows. They just, this is a live concert venue that, has a show 3 times a week. There should be a standard following here, and that's not the way it is. The bands bring the asses to put in the seats to make these places function.
And honestly, because I also feel the same, but I kind of lean more to the side of I try to stay away from them as much as I can, because being a new band, just out only 4 shows, and I want to make sure that the band can start getting on a self-sufficient run first before we start taking any risk. I mean, taking that DSI show was kind of a risk, but at the same time I knew it could have been done. We calculated it to be done, so we all had the tools to do it, and I like to think I promote like a motherfucking madman.
Yeah.
So, and that's the most important thing is like we have all like these forms of social media. It's not hard to promote like your next show or like your merch or whatever. It ain't like you have to fucking get like 20 carrier pigeons and put little fucking pieces of paper in their mouth and tell everyone, Cutthroat Conspiracy next show!
Yeah.
With like fucking fancy ass cursive.
Drop one from a drone somewhere.
In the Middle East. There you go. That's a good idea for branding market. There we go.
Trademark.
Trademark, yep. DFW Metal Mayhem and Cutthroat Conspiracy trademark right there.
We're gonna cut through a drone.
There you go. Oh my god.
Just drop our name like little fortune cookie insides out of the sky.
And then as it's dropping, you can like have it make a sound effect of like a phone ringing, and then like right before it hits, it just goes to voicemail and says 1 missed call.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. There you go. And speaking of that, in my opinion, one of your strongest strengths as a band is the way you write your music. Like, and I'm not just talking about like the music itself. Like your lyrics are very impactful, and like they carry such strong messages. And I love it when bands do that because it's digging from a place that people normally don't dig to bring something out and turn it into something amazing. And I mean, you've done that with 1 Missed Call, you've done it with Ashes. I mean, I believe, I'm trying to remember which one it was. One of those songs is dedicated to someone, right?
That's Ashes. That's
They're
dedicated to.
both technically dedicated
Okay.
to people. In, I guess, a very specific manner, Ashes is dedicated to our drummer Robert's little brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember at one of the shows, you actually dropped the hotline like for suicide prevention, like right before it went on to one of your songs, and it kind of reminded me of when Protozoid was on. Focus Fury is dedicated to one of their friends who decided to take his own life, and it's just always, I believe it was suicide or believe he got into a wreck. I'm not sure, but it's still one of those like deep, like hard-hitting messages. So where does that all come from? Like to the ability to dig in and bring something out like that.
I would say a big part of it starts with the writing because we start with music first before we really dig into lyrics.
Yeah.
And the way that I write, and I just happen to write the majority of what we play with, the way that I write comes from the heart. Because I can't do this riff sounds cool, let me find something else that sounds cool and mash it together. I don't like that. It doesn't feel good. Like it feels like nonsense to me. So generally what happens is like I dwell a lot, I think a lot. And for a particular song like, When This Call, I had a particular friend of mine that passed away. And it's not that I had a direct cause into any of it, but like he was someone that reached out to me a lot, and I had eventually just, I guess, mentally got dull to it. And then I didn't even find out that he passed away until months later. And I felt like such a terrible person, and I dwelled on that feeling for so long. And just one day I was like, dude, I have to write something. Like I don't feel good, and I just started playing and playing and playing, and it just, the song just erupted right there within the hour. And I didn't stop playing with it until the song was done. And then I brought it to the band, and I was like, all right, so here's what happened. And I told them the story. I told them each part of the song, played it for them, and everything. I recorded it at home, and like everyone just came together with it. They're like, this is something, it comes from the heart, and everything kind of played together. And we wrote it like a screenplay, if you will, just something that was a cohesive unit instead of just, this sounds cool, what lyrics do you want to put on it? Anything? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, we don't write like that at all. Everything has a purpose, it's got a meaning, it's got something that came from the heart, whether it's, something that I experienced, he experienced, it's something.
It's as non-metal as it sounds. We've had to come to a place, at least Jameson and I in the beginning as founding members of it, we had to come to a place where we were emotionally open with each other because we wanted to write songs with emotion and meaning, and that's how he tries to write his guitar lines. It's like, okay, does this sound feel sorrowful? Does this sound feel powerful? It's not, like he said, it's not just a, hey, this is a cool lick, let's string it together with another cool lick. It's, does this sound like an emotion? And that's where he comes from with the guitar. And that's, the way we can try and incorporate the lyrics is, vague enough to where it can be broadcast so someone else can get a feeling out of it, hopefully the same feeling we get out of it, and specific enough at the same time to where we can vent emotionally, if that makes any amount of sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And it's, as I said, it's the most honest and true way to write music. I can't vouch for it. Maybe so when I wrote Into the Darkness, but we don't play it anymore. But because like my band, like other bands, and this is the other side of writing songs I really like, is like when it's telling like a story. Like songs are like telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like them, but it's a good example to use. Dragon Force kind of does that. If I'm gonna name an example that I actually like, Glory Hammer does a really good job with that.
Stuff for the Human Condition does storytelling. Iced Earth does storytelling. Your band does storytelling.
Yeah. On a much watered down scale so far, but
Yeah.
yes, indeed, we do. Iced Earth just dropped that new album. It's fucking sick.
I enjoy it.
It's like one of my favorites so far. John is such an amazing guitar player, and he's just so technical. But fuck National Acts right now. We're not talking about that fancy sign shit. Shout out to the guys for bringing some Shiner. Nate,
Quite welcome.
You're missing out.
Oh.
It's all good. He's probably already drinking some over there anyway.
A lot of Shiner Goblet today is good.
So another thing I really like is, I remember when I asked you, I'm like, so what would you describe your sound as? And you said, think of like old, like In Flames and Lamb of God, and I was like, I can fuck with that. That's a good mix, and you didn't disappoint. I actually am a really big fan of how you carry your voice.
Thank you.
Like, because like I'm still learning the ways of using my voice. I feel like I do all right, but like I think you have like one of like the most like echoed tones that we can find in the scene, and that goes a really long way because I remember leaving that night a Cutthroat fan because and that was like my main reason was because that dude's vocals is just so powerful. Just coming from this short, stout man that's just belting shit out. And and it all came together well. Like I like listening to you guys. You could tell that there was many hours spent in chaining everything together and getting on each other's level to produce this art that you guys have made for the masses to hear. And there are just bands you can watch and you can be like, they're tight. Like these guys hang out a lot outside of this band shit, and they're actual genuine friends who actually love each other. And like I could definitely get that sense from you guys. Like you guys are like iron tight.
Most days.
Yeah, most days.
Yeah.
Most days.
Every band's got their squabbles. Everybody switches between playing the diva card as you like to do, or playing the, I'm gonna go hide in my room card like Matt does sometimes. But I mean, it's just a matter of fusing those energies, emotions, dare I say talents, into something cohesive. I mean, it's odd hearing things progress. Like when I tried to, we looked for a way to describe the band when it was in its infancy, when you came out and saw us. And we were just talking yesterday at practice, we tried to practice every song we'd ever written because of the tour, just to see what we wanted to throw on each city's set list. And I mean, the diversity, the stylistic diversity on what we used to write and what we write now, that progress is just, it's vast.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's always good to see the evolution, especially when it happens so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys are one of like the hotter new bands. Like
Yeah.
you guys were, you guys actually, it was to the point where not even like very much into your infancy, you were one of the bands that was selected to be voted to open for Metallica at the AT&T Stadium. Fuck Local H, you are not a unsigned band. You didn't deserve that spot. But
You just don't get it. You gotta keep it copacetic.
fucking hell.
I had to.
Woo!
I'm sorry, that was low.
But I mean, just seeing that. I mean, like seeing you guys like next to Silver Tongue, who's been around for 12 years, next to War Beast, where Bruce Corbett is a living legend, a living Texas legend.
Shell Beast.
Yeah.
Scott
And
Shell.
I mean, just like Mothership, Messer, very well, strong, long time established bands or established people, and like you were just right there in the thick of it, and it blew me away. I was like, shit, I didn't vote for anyone because like everyone was my friend, and I was like, oh.
I was harassing you about it too.
I know.
You were like, no, I like everybody. I can't do it.
All my friends, I can't do it. It hurt so much. But deep down inside, I was like, okay, if it's gonna be someone, it has to be these 6 bands. You were definitely one of the bands. I'm like, it has to be one of these 6. It was none of them, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I kind of had a feeling it was gonna go that way, though, honestly.
Well,
That they were eventually just gonna be like, hey, you know what? Let's just get a fucking sign band and bring it back to the woodwork. Let's just dig in the ground and grab Local H. They've been buried for like 20 years.
I mean, seeing those crowds last night, everybody and their dog was doing that live
Yeah.
stream shit for Metallica.
It was a good
And I'm
stage.
seeing that stadium and that stage and those big lights, and I'm like, that should have been somebody from DFW.
Yeah.
That should have been Messer. That should have been Mothership.
God, I would have loved to see Silver Tongue on there just to sing Your Mother Sucks Cocks in Hell.
Is that what they submitted to the Eagle?
No, they submitted Pan Reborn.
Okay.
But Craig would have put that on the set list.
Hey, we're in front of 300,000 people.
I was, from all the videos I saw, I was genuinely expecting a fall, and again, it's crazy, but that place was not packed.
Near the end of the night, it looked like it was.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna say, a lot of the videos I saw, there was still a bunch of space, there was still a bunch of unfilled seats, and I was like, wow. I don't know, I felt like it was gonna be bigger than that.
I actually-
Genuinely did.
That's what I thought. And my theory on it was Iron Maiden was announced first, and probably a lot of people bought Iron Maiden tickets first. And then Rammstein was announced, and probably people bought Rammstein tickets. So when Metallica got announced, people were like, "Oh yeah, no."
There's nothing left in this pocket.
Shut it!
What Rammstein's lawn seats were like $300? What was that shit?
It's worth it though.
I would have went to Maiden.
I mean, no knock against Metallica or Iron Maiden, but no one puts up a good show as compared to Rammstein.
I've seen them.
That is a show, not
Yeah.
just
Family
songs. It is a
values.
show.
Oh, that's like Cirque du Soleil.
That's like
mixed with
flamethrowers and all. Like
Yeah.
that's a show.
Yeah, it is.
Fires.
I would like to go out to see that, but I don't know how. I don't know if my wallet would be like stabbing me in the side, like what the fuck's wrong with you? But I mean, it was definitely a big opportunity. And yes, I know I'm getting controversial, but that's what I do on the show. But I'm just upset because I see hard-working local bands that like put in all the effort, and just to get stifled by a band who already had their time in the sun. It was really depressing to see.
That's not controversial. There were plenty of people on Facebook when that was announced going, what in the fuck is that handout bullshit?
That's what it was. It's essentially what it was. It was like, who the fuck do they know to just bypass everyone, like
I think when you're this young into it, and it's something that I've experienced, it's even with the excitement of like maybe we'll win, maybe we won't. We had already, just the fact of being on the list, being considered at all, being someone to be voted for, was like already like,
Yeah.
wow,
That was cool.
are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Like this is
Yeah.
crazy.
that's awesome.
Same thing with
Sure
like
made
winning
my
South
day.
by So What.
Oh yeah.
That whole thing was like, dude,
Dude, I cried like a
I've
bitch.
barely
Dude,
known
So
you guys
What
for a
was
year.
freaking
Like this
awesome.
is crazy. Are you
Especially-
kidding me?
Yeah, I
Riding on
actually
the cart.
remember that because you guys were originally scheduled for March 24th of this podcast, way back when.
Mhm.
And I was like, man, if they win, I'll be so happy for them. But damn it, I'll have to reschedule. But nah, and how was that show? How'd it go?
It was overall an experience because I can't say it was like, oh, it was amazing and great. Because I mean, there was times where not so much. But overall, I left feeling very accomplished. No matter what, it was just insane. I don't know how to describe it really. Winning it was crazy because I was like, dude, there's no way we did it. And then like actually going there and seeing all these bands and seeing how I would say professionals get this stuff set up, and like it was just like wow, I don't know, once in a lifetime kind of thing. Even though we're gonna try again, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But overall, it was just like no way.
No, that battle was fun. I mean, we made some good friends. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, what is it, From a Broken Oath,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Flagel's band out in Oklahoma. They played in that. And
Gave us a run for our money. I can say
yeah,
that much.
damn right they did. And I mean, I still go and see them. They just played. They're from Oklahoma and they're becoming a staple in DFW as far as the shows go. I mean,
Oklahoma bands love it here.
Well-
I've noticed that. Like you see a lot of Oklahoma talent come down here. It's so cool, and like in turn, it's awesome because you see Oklahoma bands will come down here, play shows, they'll make good friends and shit, and then like they'll fucking take Texas bands up there.
Yeah.
And playing in Oklahoma, I heard is a lot of fun.
if you can find a place to play.
Yeah, I know there's like a place in Lawton that Electric Visions played in. I can't remember the name of it, but I know Mouseside put them up there. I believe there's a band called Oberon is from Ada, Oklahoma. I know there's two places up there, but I don't know. Oklahoma promoters, send your shit over to DFW Metal Mayhem, please, so I can share it to everybody. So, just still being a young band and still growing and evolving really quickly, I mean, as I said, it's a quick following that you guys have. Like, I last time I checked, and maybe the numbers are different, you had over 2,700 likes on your Facebook page officially. That's fucking wild for a band that's barely been around for like a year, So, why don't we have some fan appreciation? What do you got to say to all those losers?
All those losers. I would like to take this time to thank my Cougars. I love you.
Oh, wait, Cougars? Holy shit, yes! Yes!
No, I mean, anybody that's come out to a show,
Thanks,
supported us, bought the gratuitous amount of merch we decided to produce, met us out in the middle of freaking nowhere to allow us to drop tickets off to you, to hand us your hard-earned money to come see us monkey around on stage. I genuinely fucking appreciate it.
New shirts coming soon.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But
So, what upcoming shows do we have that you would like to announce?
here, you haven't gotten to talk at all. You talk.
Well, we got the tour coming up next week. We got, 22nd, we're in Houston. Was that the Arcadia or something?
Acadia.
And then we got, 23rd, that's Friday. Is that awesome?
Mm-hmm.
And then San Antonio, Saturday, and then we're back home in Fort Worth Sunday.
Yep.
Tomcats, right?
Yes.
Good job.
That is the Half Alive tour.
Yes, it is.
The leader, the legend.
Forget conformity.
Yeah, Chris and John.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like Chris. He's cool. Bought a D side ticket, came out, watched this. He was digging it. So, much respect, brother. Sorry we had to dip. So, we have a song, but unfortunately, since the entire band is not here, we will not be able to go out and jam out the Skull Archer room. But, I do have a live video from you guys.
Do you need another beer?
Do I need another beer? I will be good.
He doesn't ask me.
But I do have a live video of one of your songs. So why don't we introduce that song and what it's about, and I guess like where this was at.
All right. So the video we sent over was Changes, and Changes has like kind of like a multi-view front of, I guess, points of view, but a big part of it is just, you know, walking into a particular situation where, you know, life throwing its obstacles at you, and you having the mental capability to like hold it down for a minute, adjust, do what you have to do, and destroy it. You know, it's about overcoming those obstacles and, you know, witnessing how things are changing around you, but knowing yourself good enough to overcome whatever comes your way.
Fear not the obstacles in your path.
When you change yourself, you change the world, as said by Gojira.
Most definitely.
All right,
That was a big part of it.
guys, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming on the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. I said it. What y'all gonna do about it? The radio shows. I mean, they're all better produced and are more professional and have better equipment and.
We've got beer and a comfy couch, huh?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I have a fucking casting couch. Eat shit. Next week, next episode, we shall awaken a sleeping titan who is coming back to destroy the scene. I will see y'all then. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. Stay brutal.
I think we're ready. Are you ready, Real Club? Thank you to the 5 of you with a voice box and a pulse. This song is called Changes.